You have a great product, competitive pricing, and plenty of inventory on Amazon, but still struggle to make sales if you're not winning the buy box. Most sellers will see a huge drop in sales after losing the buy box. So how do you win the buy box on Amazon in 2026? My name is Samuel, and let's get to business. Before we get into the exact strategies, here's exactly what we're going to cover. First, I'll show you what the Amazon buy box actually is and why is it so important for getting sales. Then we'll look at the main reasons sellers lose the Amazon buy box in 2026. Next, we'll break down the main factors Amazon considers when choosing the Amazon buy box winner. I will also show you how to analyze a listing before buying inventory so that you can avoid products where one seller controls all the buy box, the prices keep falling, or other sellers are struggling to make sales. Finally, we'll explain how repricing can help you stay competitive without checking every listing manually or constantly lowering your prices. By the end of this video, you should understand not only how to win the buy box, but how to keep it while protecting your profits in 2026. Before we explain how to win the buy box, let's make sure you understand what it actually is. When a customer opens an Amazon product listing, they normally see the Add to Cart and Buy Now buttons on the right side of the page. The offer displayed next to those buttons is known as the buy box. Amazon now officially calls it the featured offer, but most sellers still use the term buy box. Underneath the buttons, you'll usually see the word sold by followed by the name of the seller. That seller is currently winning the buy box. For example, a product might be sold by Amazon itself, a large wholesale company, or an independent Amazon seller like you. The seller shown beside the sold by section normally receives the order when the customer clicks Add to Cart or Buy Now. But why are several sellers competing on the same product listing? Amazon does not want every reseller to create a new listing for the same product. That would fill the marketplace with duplicate pages and make shopping confusing. Instead, sellers offering the same product usually share one product detail page. Amazon then compares their offers and chooses which one should appear as a featured offer at that moment. The other sellers are still available, but customers usually need to open the other sellers on Amazon or see all buying options section to find them. Most shoppers do not take these extra steps. They usually click the first visible buying button, which is why winning the buy box can make such a large effect on your sales. Usually around 85% of all sales go to the sellers who own the buy box. However, there are also situations where Amazon does not display any featured offer. This is commonly known as the suppressed buy box. Instead of seeing Add to Cart or Buy Now, the customer may only see an option such as See All Buying Options. This can happen when Amazon believes none of the available offers should be featured. Possible reasons include pricing concerns, unavailable inventory, delivery limitations, or other eligibility issues. So how has the buy box changed in 2026? The basic idea has not changed. Amazon still chooses one eligible offer to display beside the main buying buttons. What has changed is how competitive and complex the process has become. Winning the buy box is no longer just about lowering your price by a few cents. Price still matters, but Amazon also considers whether the product is available, how quickly it can reach the customer, the seller's performance, and whether the offer provides a good customer experience. Amazon's own guidance highlights reasonable pricing, inventory, shipping options, and customer service as important parts of featured offer eligibility. That is why successful sellers in 2026 do not treat the buy box as something they win once and forget about. They monitor it continuously. They watch their pricing, delivery speed, inventory levels, seller metrics, and featured offer percentage. They also use repricing tools and regular audits to react when market conditions change. Winning the buy box once might be easy. Keeping it while protecting your profit is the real challenge. First, let's talk about buy box eligibility. Before you can win the buy box, your offer first needs to be eligible. This is an important difference. You might have the lowest price on the listing, but if your offer is not eligible, Amazon may not place it next to the Add to Cart and Buy Now buttons. So let's look at the basic requirements. First, you generally need a professional selling account. This is Amazon's paid selling plan. If you're using an individual selling account, your offer may not be eligible to compete for the buy box. But having a professional account does not automatically guarantee that you will win. It only gives your offer the opportunity to compete. The buy box is generally available for products listed in new condition. If you're selling a used, refurbished, or collectible item, your offer may still appear under the other buying options, but it will not compete for the main featured offer in the same way as a new product. Instead, it would compete for the used buy box for used products, which you compete for separately. Next, your product must be in stock and available for customers to purchase. You cannot win the buy box if you have no available inventory. But completely running out of stock is not the only problem. If your inventory is very low or only available in a limited number of fulfillment centers, Amazon may not be able to deliver it quickly to customers in every location. For example, your offer might win the buy box for a customer who lives close to your inventory, but lose it for someone in another state because a competitor can deliver faster. This is why two customers look at the same product may sometimes see different buy box winners. Amazon also considers the overall health and performance of your seller account. This could include factors such as your order defect rate, cancellation rate, late shipment rate, customer feedback, returns, and how quickly you respond to customers' questions. Amazon wants the featured offer to provide a reliable customer experience. So even if your price is competitive, poor seller performance can reduce your chances of winning. Finally, Amazon looks at how the order will be fulfilled and how quickly it can reach the customer. FBA sellers often have an advantage because Amazon stores, packs, ships, and handles customer service for those orders. FBA products are also usually eligible for Prime delivery. However, this does not mean FBM sellers can never win. An FBM seller can still compete if they offer reliable inventory, competitive pricing, fast handling, and strong delivery performance. As you can see, Amazon evaluates the complete customer experience. You may first need to fix your inventory, fulfillment, delivery time, account health, or another eligibility issue. Once your offer becomes eligible, then you can focus on the factors that determine how much of the buy box rotation you actually receive. Once your offer is eligible, Amazon compares it with the other eligible offers on the listing. There are no single factor that guarantees you will win. Amazon does not publish the exact formula, and the importance of each factor can change depending on the product, customer location, and competing offers. But these are the 5 main areas every seller should understand. The first factor, the landed price. Landed price means the complete amount the customer pays for the products, including the item price and any shipping charges. For example, one seller may offer a product for $25 with free shipping, while another seller offers it for $23 plus $4 shipping. Even though the second seller has a lower product price, their landed price is actually higher. Amazon wants customers to receive a competitive overall deal, so it looks at the complete prices, not only the numbers shown beside the product. But this does not mean the lowest offer always wins. A seller with a slightly higher price may still receive the buy box if they provide faster delivery, better availability, or stronger performance. This is where many sellers make a costly mistake. They keep lowering their price by a few cents because they believe that undercutting is the only way to win. Then another seller lowers their price, the first seller responds again, and the listing enters into a price war. Eventually, everyone may be settling for very little profits, pennies on the dollar. A better strategy is to price competitively instead of being the cheapest. The second factor is fulfillment and delivery speed. Amazon wants the featured offer to provide a fast and reliable customer experience. This is why FBA sellers often have an advantage. However, FBA does not automatically guarantee that you will win. An FBM seller can still compete if they have a strong performance, fast handling, reliable delivery, and a competitive landed price. The important factor is not simply whether the offer is FBA or FBM. It is whether the product can reach that specific customer quickly and reliably. The third factor is inventory availability. You cannot win the buy box when your product is out of stock. But low inventory can also reduce how often you win. If you only have a small number of units available, Amazon may not be able to place your inventory across enough fulfillment centers to serve customers in different regions. A competitor with more widely available inventory may win more buy box rotation because their offer can be delivered to more customers quickly. The fourth factor is seller performance. Amazon wants customers to have a good experience after clicking the buy box, so it considers whether a seller is reliable. Important performance areas can include your order defect rate, your cancellation rate, your late shipment rate, your tracking and delivery performance, your customer feedback, your return and refund history, and how quickly you respond to customer questions. Amazon's official guidance recommends strong customer service because it can help sellers generate positive ratings and reviews and improve their ability to compete for the featured offer. This is especially important for FBM sellers because they control more of the fulfillment process. If orders regularly ship late, get canceled, or create customer complaints, Amazon may prefer another seller even when that seller has a slightly higher price. The fifth factor is price stability and external competitiveness. Amazon does not only compare your price with other sellers on the same Amazon listing. It may also compare your total price with reference prices and prices found outside Amazon. If Amazon believes your offer is significantly more expensive than a competitive external price, your offer may lose a featured offer eligibility. This could happen even when you are the only seller on the Amazon listing. Amazon's pricing health dashboard is designed to show pricing issues that may affect featured offer eligibility. Amazon recommends reviewing the total price, including shipping, when an offer is not considered competitive. Large or sudden price changes can also create problems. For example, if your product normally sells for $25 and you suddenly raise it to $40, Amazon may view that increase as unreasonable. So the main lesson is simple. The buy box is not the lowest price contest. Amazon is trying to choose the offer that provides the strongest overall customer experience. That includes a competitive landed price, fast delivery, available inventory, reliable seller performance, and stable pricing. The strongest sellers manage all 5 factors together instead of depending on only one. Now you understand the main factors behind the buy box. Let's look at how to analyze a listing before you spend money on inventory. A product can look profitable on paper, but that does not automatically mean that you're going to receive sales. You also need to understand what is happening between the sellers already on the listing. For this section, we'll divide listings into 2 groups, good listings and bad listings. Let's start with a good listing. The first thing we want to examine is the offer count. On Keepa, the offer count shows how many sellers are currently offering the product. If the offer count regularly rises and then drops again, that can be a positive sign. For example, the listing may go from 12 sellers down to 8 and then rise back to 11 and later fall again. This movement suggests that sellers are entering the listing, selling through their inventory, and leaving after they run out of stock. It does not guarantee that every seller is receiving equal sales, but it gives us evidence that inventory is moving. Next, check the buy box statistics. A healthy listing often shows several sellers receiving at least some buy box share. One seller may have 40%, another may have 20%, and several smaller sellers may have lower percentages. You should also look at the price history. A good listing normally has a reasonably stable buy box price. The price does not need to remain exactly the same every day, but you should not see a constant downward trend. Small changes are normal. A price moving between $25 and $28 may be still healthy if sellers are making sales and the price regularly returns to the normal range. Finally, look for regular sales movement. On Keepa, sales rank drops can help show that the product is selling. A good listing usually has these signs. The offer count rises and falls. The buy box has multiple sellers who share it. The price is relatively stable, and the sales rank shows regular movements. And smaller sellers appear to sell out over time. Now let's look at a bad listing. One of the clearest warning signs is when the offer count keeps rising while the price keeps falling. Imagine that a listing starts with 5 sellers. A few weeks later, it has 10 sellers. Then it has 15. At the same time, the buy box price falls from $30 to $25 and then to $20. This usually means new sellers are entering the listing, but the existing sellers are not selling through their inventory fast enough. Instead, everyone begins lowering their prices to compete for sales. This is how a price war begins. The next warning sign is one large seller dominating the buy box. This does not mean the product's impossible to sell, but it becomes much riskier when the dominant seller has thousands of reviews, a large amount of inventory, and a history of constantly adjusting their prices. A large seller may be able to remain in stock for months and continue lowering the price whenever new competitors arrive. The last situation is the biggest warning sign. If several FBA sellers are offering the product at the same competitive price point, but one large seller continues to control almost all the buy box, you may struggle to receive sales even after matching them. Another common scenario is when Amazon is on the listing, because when that happens, it's very hard to win the buy box from them. So we would avoid buying this type of product. A bad listing often have these signs. The offer count continues rising. The price continues falling. One large seller controls most of the buy box, and sellers appear to be undercutting one another. When you see several of these signs together, it is usually better to avoid that listing. Now that you know how to identify a healthy listing, the next question is, how should you price your offer? The goal is not to simply win the buy box at any cost. The goal is to win enough buy box share while still protecting your profit. A seller who wins every sales but makes no money is not using a successful pricing strategy. When your inventory first becomes available, start by looking at the current competitive FBA offers. Do not immediately price below every other seller. If the lowest competitive FBA offer is $29.99, you may also start near $29.99 instead of dropping your prices to $29.98 or $28.99. Matching the competitive price gives Amazon an opportunity to rotate the buy box between eligible sellers without immediately starting a price war. Remember that price is only one factor. If your inventory can reach the customer faster, your account is healthy, and your offer is fulfilled for FBA, you may still receive buy box share without being the cheapest seller. The current buy box price only shows what is happening right now. It does not tell you what normally happens on the listing. That is why you should check the historic buy box price in Keepa. For example, imagine the buy box is currently at $24.99. If Keepa shows that it regularly moved between $27 and $30 during the last 30 or 90 days, the current lower price may only be temporary. One seller may be trying to sell through their remaining inventory quickly. If you immediately match them, you could give up several dollars of profits for no reason. But if Keepa shows that the price has been falling steadily for several months, then $24.99 may not be temporary, it may be the new normal. Before using any manual or automated pricing strategy, calculate your minimum price. Your minimum price should account for the cost of the product, Amazon referral fees, FBA or fulfillment fees, inbound shipping, preparation and labeling costs, storage costs, and the minimum amount of profit you're willing to accept. Your maximum price is also important. Many sellers focus only on preventing their prices from going too low, but they also miss opportunities to raise prices when competition becomes weaker. Use the recent buy box history to choose a realistic maximum. One of the most common Amazon pricing mistakes is constantly undercutting the lowest seller by 1 cent. At first, it may seem harmless. You lower your price by 1 cent, another seller responds, and you lower it again. But when several sellers use the same strategy, the price can fall quickly. This creates a race to the bottom. Before lowering your price, ask yourself, are the other sellers actually winning the buy box? Are they FBA or FBM sellers? Is their inventory fully available? Are they likely to run out soon? And are other sellers making sales at a higher price? A 1 cent price difference may not be the real reason why you're losing. Sometimes the best pricing decision is to do nothing. Imagine a seller enters the listing and prices far below everyone else. Maybe they only have 3 units. Maybe they're clearing old inventory. Or maybe they need to make a pricing mistake. If you immediately follow them, you may lower the entire market for inventory that would have sold at a higher price after they ran out. Check their estimated stock when possible and review how long similar price drops lasted in the past. However, patience does not mean ignoring a listing forever. If the price remains low, the offer count continues rising, and sellers are not selling through, then the market may have changed. Use data to decide whether the price drop is temporary or permanent. Manually checking every listing can work when you only have a few products, but as your inventory grows, it becomes difficult to monitor every competitor, buy box changes, out of stock items, and price movement throughout the day. This is where BQool AI-repricer can help. You can set a minimum price to protect your profit and a maximum price to capture more margin when the market conditions improve. The repricer can adjust your offer automatically based on your strategy and changes on the listing. For example, when a competitor lowers their price, the repricer can respond without requiring you to log in and update the listing manually. When that competitor runs out of inventory, the repricer can also move your price upward within the limits that you select. The repricer should help you remain competitive when necessary, increase profit when possible, and avoid pricing outside the boundaries of your business. You can watch this video to learn how to use BQool Repricer. We have been in the market for over 12 years and use AI to help you win the buy box with various pricing strategies. We have covered a lot today, so let's finish with a simple action checklist that you can use for every listing. You do not need to remember every detail at once, just follow these steps in order. Step 1, confirm buy box eligibility. Check that you have the correct seller plan. The product is listed in new condition, your offer is active, your inventory is available, and there are no restrictions or listing problems affecting the offer. Step 2, check delivery and inventory. Review your available quantity, inbound inventory, reserved units, receiving delays, inventory transfers, and expected delivery dates. Step number 3, review seller metrics. Check for the order defect rate, late shipment rate, cancellation rate, customer feedback, returns and refunds, A to Z claims, policy warnings, and intellectual property complaints. Step number 4, analyze buy box history. Use Keepa or another research tool to review the historic data. Check out the buy box price, offer count, Amazon stock status, FBA and FBM pricing, sales ranks improvement, buy box rotation, and how long different sellers stay in stock. Step number 5, set profitable minimum and maximum prices. Include your product costs, all of the Amazon fees that you have, including also inbound shipping charges, also prep costs if you have some, storage fees, and your required profit. Step number 6, use BQool Repricer to monitor changes. If you only sell a few products, manual pricing may be manageable. But once your catalog grows, it becomes very difficult to monitor every listing throughout the day. Use BQool Repricer to help respond automatically when competitors change their prices, sellers run out of stock, Amazon enters or leaves the listing, the buy box price rapidly moves, or your offer stops receiving rotation. Step number 7, review performance every week. The buy box is not something you check once and forget. Create a weekly review process. All right, that's it for today's video. Hopefully it was useful and you discovered more things you didn't know about the buy box. Also, for a better chance of winning the buy box, try out the BQool Repricer. We have a 14-day free trial. You don't even need to provide your credit card. The link is in the description below, and I'll see you in our next episode.